and welcome to the news. Of course, it's Wednesday, which means the bulletin packs an extra punch in details, insight, and new perspectives. Here, the Nigerian story is king, with your views given the extra touch they deserve. Tonight, whistling to the bank, Ministry of Finance distills ideas in perfecting the whistleblower policy.
The whistleblower policy is part of the government's strategy to ensure that our public institutions operate with integrity and remain accountable to the people of Nigeria.
We'll put our lenses on some states and their recently discovered speed to conduct local government elections.
Vote the right person, and at the end of the day, the person that we voted in should be able to look at our roads.
Is it going to be real? Will they be given the free hands to run the local government?
Security, FCT Police Command slams cuffs on suspected Shiite sect members who unleashed violence in Abuja earlier in the week. And this week, we are back in Borno, this time to visit Kukawa, a ghost town that is receiving the breath of life.
These are people of Kukawa local government area who have been displaced, some of them more than 14 years ago. Now they are making a triumph entry back to their homeland after those 14 years sojourn as internally displaced persons. No thanks to the activities of insurgents, and in fact no thanks to all the displacement that they have suffered as a result of that.
We'll touch key sectors of the nation's economy with Benny Adams providing new tips on navigating the labyrinth of the world of business, while Badi Adeleye is as ready as the new Super Eagles coach with his first 11. As we say on this bit, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. I'm Yan Ray John, and this is News Extra. Welcome. Let's hit the road now as whistleblowers in Nigeria may begin to smile to the bank as a bill which will not only fully protect but reward them is underway. To this end, the Ministry of Finance has brought together stakeholders in a one-day sensitization workshop on the implementation of whistleblowing policy in Nigeria. Muplank Dakok will fill us in.
Whistleblowing policy was introduced formally in Nigeria in 2016 with the aim of encouraging the reporting of misappropriation of public funds and assets and to handle issues of corruption like collecting and soliciting for bribes, among others. However, Nigeria is still without a legal framework for the whistleblowing policy.
We are here today to examine the challenges and collectively seek ways to overcome them. It is imperative that we continually refine our strategies to ensure effective implementation of the policy to achieve the desired results.
Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, who agreed that the momentum and popularity that welcomed the policy seem to have died down, says this will soon change as President Bola Tinubu is soon to present the bill on whistleblowing to the National Assembly for passage into law.
And we expect that the public will support the quick passage, the prompt and expeditious passage of this all-important bill by the National Assemblies. The whistleblower policy is part of the government's strategy to ensure that our public institutions operate with integrity and remain accountable to the people of Nigeria.
Part of the provision in the bill include appropriation of authorities that can receive information and assurance of protection and compensation for whistleblowers.
The slogan for the whistleblowing policy still remains, if you see something, say something and get something. From the Ministry of Finance, Muplang Dakok, NTA News.
The power to make positive change in every aspect of the country's national life lies in the hands of the people. This view was unanimously agreed on at a National Integrity Summit in Abuja at the instance of a non-governmental organization committed Advocates of Integrity Initiative. Kenneth Nanim reports.
There are many Nigerians out there who have resolved to live a life of integrity no matter the circumstances. For the organizers of this summit, what such decision simply means is that people should do the right thing, even when no one is watching. Perhaps many of such behaviors may have played out without a public notice. Obonago Ibrahim Mohammed, who saw and returned the sum of $10,000 to a customer when he was formerly working as a guard in one of the commercial banks in Lagos in 2017, is an example of such persons whose integrity has come into limelight.
There are a whole lot of, some Nigerians who were blaming me, on social media, even on, everywhere. Where some media houses posted my name, you see people coming there with a whole lot of comments and all that. A classmate of mine then called me and said, Ibrahim, we came to Lagos to look for money, you saw money and returned. I say, what if you were the one that lost that money? To be a man and a woman of integrity, it's a choice, and that is what I have chosen.
Taking a cue from the biblical account in Proverbs 22 verse 1, which says that a good name is better than great riches, stakeholders in this hall are putting into perspective the need for citizens to inculcate integrity as a culture and way of life, in line with the theme of the program, which is Make Integrity Your Brand, Build a Nation Free from Corruption.
Good leadership is like light. Once you bring light where there is darkness, what happens? Effortlessly, the darkness will just disappear.
We must first of all input integrity in our hearts, in the way we think, and first of all make it a kind of priority, the way we act or conduct ourselves with the little things that we see ourselves on a daily basis.
Building a nation that is free from corruption is a collective effort. Making integrity our brand is a personal decision. And that's the way we can build a nation that we can be proud of tomorrow and also leave our unborn children.
While urging leadership reorientation, the summit also identifies the people as a force to drive good governance anchored on integrity. Kenneth Nani, NTA News.
Meanwhile, strengthening anti-corruption agencies, fiscal transparency and citizens' engagement in governance are key ingredients needed in winning the fight against corruption in Nigeria. Musa Abubakar reports that these are part of recommendations by Center for Fiscal Transparency and Public Integrity in partnership with Mark Arthur Foundation to build momentum from International Anti-Corruption Conference 2024.
The 2024 International Anti-Corruption Conference may have gone, but lessons learned and takeaways resonate with participants here at this workshop. This gathering is a follow-up to the discussions and collaborations initiated during the International Anti-Corruption Conference, investigating political candidates and strengthening election integrity. Right of citizens to participate in governance and reporting corruption are some of the major takeaways the center believes can address corruption and improve transparency.
Talking about enhancing our public procurement processes to reduce corruption. We're talking about monitoring climate finance. We're talking about electoral integrity, where the people we vote into office has the level of integrity that should be there. We're talking about reducing illicit financial flows. We're also talking about the level of assets that are stolen from the country and from the continent actually to other jurisdictions, to see how we can stem all these things so that we can enhance our democracy.
We need to strengthen our constitutional anti-corruption institutions, because you have the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal, you have the Auditor General's Office at all levels. These institutions need to have their capacity strengthened, both in terms of operation and in terms of financial independence.
These takeaways reflect ongoing challenges and emerging strategies in the global fight against corruption, emphasizing a multifaceted approach that involves all sectors of this society. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
Looking at other issues now, a meeting between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities has been adjourned to the 6th of September 2024. This, the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamin, says is to give ample time to the committees set up to review pending issues and outline implementable solutions to the challenges of university workers. The minister reiterates the need to iron out the issues for lasting stability in the system noting that the present administration remains committed to revamping Nigeria's education sector.
Your vision for the education system. The government will continue to do what is right. The president has committed himself to having an education system which is the pride of everybody and the nation.
Our belief was that when this government came in, we don't need to have any issue, but they were involved in the process that resulted in the suspension of the strike the last time. So we believe that from this meeting, we're going to have some landmarks, and then we evaluate what we have done.
This intervention is coming 10 days to the expiration of a 21 days strike notice issued by the union. Elsewhere, Nigeria is a wide-scale excavation platform on account of its rich endowment in natural mining resources. The excavation activities in many areas leave behind open wounds to the soil, which endangers the host communities. It is against this background that the House of Representatives Committee on Solid Minerals is canvassing support for the proposal to allocate 10% of revenue from the mining sector for the development of host communities. This was during an oversight visit by members of the committee to mining sites in Kogi State, where they also advocated fair pricing of cement by manufacturers. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikpem feeds us.
Lawmakers continue investigation into the arbitrary increase in cement price with this visit to Kogi State, where they are first received by the deputy governor.
Any company or an individual that wants to mine the mineral resources, the solid mineral we have in Kogi State, must come and reside with us in Kogi State.
There must be a new regime in environmental remediation so that these holes that have been dug can be covered and our people go back to farming because we're agrarian by nature.
Next port of call was the Dangote cement plant and mining sites at Obajana and Oyoiwa, where limestone, the critical resource for cement production, is being excavated in millions of metric tons.
The scale of mining going on here at this site in Oworo in Kogi State said to be about 40 feet deep. It's one of the reasons why the House Committee on Solid Minerals is concerned about the environmental impact on surrounding communities.
At an interactive session, the lawmakers insist on rational pricing of cement, considering that the raw materials are sourced locally.
We want the input ratio for production of 1 bag of cement.
If you are getting the raw materials, all the raw materials in Nigeria, I don't think anything justifies that high price of cement. You saw the size of the equipment. A man was looking like a dwarf compared to the tire of an.
All mining equipment consume diesel. We don't use electricity. From bulldozers to payloaders to dump trucks, they are consuming diesel.
We will probably mine over 20 trillion naira out of this budget. If something like this is done in a community of this nature, that would take proof. We shouldn't be looking for a microscope to look at, to see your impact in the community.
Give us empowerment, empower the youth. It's enough for them.
The committee emphasizes that it is not on a witch hunt, but seeks fair pricing of cement to promote affordable housing for Nigerians. From Obajana in Kogi State, Mitaire Ikwe, NTA News.
We head to the land of promise now, where the federal government, through the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, is distributing 3 kilogram sized gas cylinders each to women in Akwa Ibom State. This gesture, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Gas, Mr. Ekperikpe Ekpo, says is good towards moving 1 million households to using clean cooking gas by 2030. Amediong Omo reports.
One of the goals of the United Nations by 2030 is achieving Sustainable Development Goals SDG 7. This therefore focuses on the need for stakeholders to ensure the provision of modern energy to persons involved in cooking for healthy environment. Hence, the need to eliminate the use of firewood, charcoal, dung and kerosene that produce unhealthy emissions.
I say may God bless them, grant them good health. I'm giving a vote of thanks to our minister. Thank God for him to put a smile on the faces of the women.
It is on this note that the federal government flags off a decade of cooking gas outreach to achieve the vision of clean energy.
Those cylinders are filled with gas so that women will cook with it and give a sign of relief.
To develop our nation and also to reduce the greenhouse gas emission.
The training session enlightened recipients on the use of gas to avoid explosions. Certificates were presented to individuals. It is the hope of the people that the vision of the federal government for a safer environment is achieved. In Uyo, Emedionmo, NTA News.
The Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajagbeamila, and the Deputy Chief of Staff, Ibrahim Hadija, call for reforms within the National Hajj Commission, NACON, to address issues of financial mismanagement, negligence, maltreatment of pilgrims, and late preparation for pilgrimage exercises. The presidency officials made these remarks during a fact-finding visit to NACON headquarters in Abuja as part of their engagements with government agencies under the supervision of the State House. The commission, the Chief of Staff to the President say, is set up to fulfill religious and spiritual obligations for men and women of faith and should not be found in any controversy. He urges the management of NACON to always take responsibility for what goes on in the commission and in Saudi Arabia when Nigerian pilgrims are there. The officials also visited the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, where Gbajagbeamila highlighted the potential role of states in providing funding to the agency through an insurance scheme or other means. Gbajagbeamila also stressed the need to shift disaster management in Nigeria from a reactive to a proactive approach, emphasizing the importance of prevention over mitigation with better preparation and early warnings. Similarly, mitigation efforts and intervention across the country is widening as a result of recurring natural disaster and security challenges. So, the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajagbeamila, says the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, may require more funding. He was at NEMA on a fact-finding tour of agencies under the presidency. Ilyasu Yakubu has the details.
The visit of the Chief of Staff to the President to the agency's headquarters is primarily to identify what the strengths and challenges of the agency for effective mitigation. The Act establishing NEMA mandates the agency to coordinate resources towards efficient and effective disaster prevention, preparedness, mitigation, and response in Nigeria. The Act also mandates states to establish the State Emergency Management Agency and the local organizing committees at the local government areas to coordinate disaster activities. However, the irony of these is that most state governments rely solely on NEMA's intervention in the event of flooding.
We needed to turn the page on how we do business. We've heard about your constraints, your problems, the issues. But we felt that, hearing is one thing, coming and understanding how you do your business and what your challenges are. I think in turning the page, I think it's important that we begin to look even closer, more closely, to the issue of the area of prevention.
Director General of NEMA, Zobaida Umar, thanked the Chief of Staff for the visit and said NEMA has been strategizing on many innovations to ensure effective mitigation of disasters.
As we gather, we're reminded of the critical role NEMA plays in disaster management and response. Your support and guidance are invaluable to our efforts in building resilience and preparedness in our communities.
The National Emergency Management Agency is the 9th agency under the presidency visited by the Chief of Staff to the President so far. In Abuja, Ilyasu Yakubu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu receives the news of the devastation wreaked by floods in communities and farmlands across the country with profound grief. Recent data by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, indicate that lives have been lost, with thousands of hectares of farmlands damaged and thousands of people displaced by floods across the country. The president sympathizes with all victims, especially the bereaved families, farmers, displaced communities, and those who have lost property. President Tinubu re-emphasizes the need for concerted effort to address existential environmental concerns and build a more climate-resilient and adaptive society. The president prays for the repose of the souls of the deceased, while assuring Nigerians that his administration, through relevant agencies, will continue to provide the needed support for victims, as well as timely warnings to mitigate the impact of environmental mishaps. This is News Extra. More to come after this break. Thank you for staying with us. For more than 14 years, the ancient town of Kukawa in Borno State was without its inhabitants. It is the most historical and most economically vibrant entity in Borno State. Yet, its more than 300,000 inhabitants had to abandon it and find life elsewhere. Now, Hamisu Rogo reports that the people are coming back home, but no one finds his house in order.
Kukawa is a compelling story. Of all local government headquarters in northern Borno, Kukawa is the one still to have his people back, at least not until now. Look at the picture of the town. It is a place in desolation. The people of Kukawa that are returning now are coming to no house. See them here. They are coming back in great numbers. The military have given the state government the go-ahead to bring the people back, and the return journey is on. Here, they are being prepared for the last lap of their journey back to their lost home. Fatigue is written all over their body, but the prospect of being home at last inspired them. For a person that has been displaced from his own land for onward of 10, 7 to 8 years, displaced and out of his area of comfort, and to a community where he knows next to nothing, obviously, when he comes back, the kind of stories he tells must be a human story, must be very touching. Now, this is precisely the situation with these people. There are hundreds of them, and they are coming back to reunite with their families after 10 years. Many of the stories this returning tale can make for a bestseller. The story Hajia here is telling me is that when she left Kukawa 14 years ago, on the event when the insurgency actually began, this young lady here was just 2 months old. Today, when they are coming back to Kukawa, the girl is already 14 years old and a woman. Obviously, it has been quite a long time. But during that time, she has been moving from Kukawa to various areas, running away from the activities of the insurgents. It happened that this woman speaks of losing her husband some 8 years ago, but she's coming back with the 2 children under 6 years. Across the returning women are likewise scenarios, which actually speaks of their high fertility away from home. Probably the readers of the scripture may have a picture of the similarity with what is happening now. This is the great trek back home. These are people of Kukawa local government area who have been displaced, some of them more than 14 years ago. Now they are making a triumph entry back to their homeland after those 14 years sojourn as internally displaced persons. No thanks to the activities of insurgents, and in fact no thanks to all the displacement that they have suffered as a result of that. After several arrival protocols, they are allowed to link up with their lost home. This is what used to be of the house of Lamid Hassan. He left Kukawa 14 years ago. He is back now with his 3 wives and 14 children. He is at the mercy of a friend who gave him a small shelter before he sought his house out. We visited the house. Palmata identified the space where her house used to be, but she seems to be at a loss. Nobody can read her mind. Yet, there is this man. He identifies what used to be his house and just leaves his soul out around it. He has no worries in this world. Even his bag is not a bother to him. He needs to rest his tired soul. The returnees were given stipends to start up life back home. Their obvious lack of shelter and food are a threat to them, though. These are areas they require urgent intervention. The government is not without its request for them too.
We need to invest in medium and longer term sustainable solutions, because feeding people at IDP camps, providing palliatives by government and non-governmental organizations to the displaced communities is no longer sustainable. The only solution is for people to go back to their farmlands. And this can only be possible through resettlement, reconstruction, rehabilitation, and resettlement.
One landmark was a game achieved on the day. For the first time in 14 years, Friday prayer is offered in Kukawa. When the Muezzin rendered the call to prayer, the atmosphere was sober and gratifying. It is home at last. In Kukawa, Borno State, Muhammad Hamis Rogo, NTA News.
Many thanks, Hamisu, for that report. Mixed feelings watching those pictures there. But we have with us now the Commissioner for Local Government and Emirate Affairs, Borno State, Sugun Meimele. Many thanks for joining us, sir.
Thank you so much.
Now, all that, and you know the true picture, the people of Kukawa are going back home, or should we say are home. But there's no house and no homes, nothing. Would there be provisions, for these returnees, just so that they're as comfortable as they should be?
Thank you so much for the beautiful question and presentation of our position in the national media. So, what the government of Borno State is currently doing is, resettlement is a very cumbersome exercise. There was a displacement of Kukawa residents. Notice was given to them to quit the town. Then immediately they vacated the town, but there was a public outcry that these people want to go back to their ancestral homes. So the government of Borno State has done everything that is humanly possible to see that the military formation are based in Kukawa, and the residents of Kukawa will be given the opportunity to go back to their ancestral homes to fix the pieces of their lives. In this process, government has provided water facilities, healthcare facilities, primary education, and also conducive environment for the farming activities in that locality. So they have now gone back, and the government is now doing everything that is humanly possible to renovate all the public facilities. And token has been given to the residents of the Kukawa, that is every head of household were given foodstuff, materials for their housing, then also token amount so that they should now take the pieces of their lives, while renovation of...
Meimele, outside giving stipends and all of that, tell us exactly the possibilities that are, available in terms of livelihood, since their markets are not functional at the moment. If you say farmlands and all that materials to farm at the moment is untilled, so how do they get, food and all of that? And then trade is still difficult because there's still restriction of movement across communities. So tell us, how would they survive in the interim before, things return to normal?
As you have rightly seen, the local government headquarters that has been displaced, now people have returned back. And also Kroskowa is also part of Kukawa local government. There are also resettlement in Kroskowa. Also in Baga town, there is the resettlement in Baga town. So within Kukawa local government, we have Kukawa, Kroskowa, and Baga. All these three places, they have the facilities. That is both the clinic, water, education, as well as the primary educations in the localities. So gradually, you know, resettlement is a very cumbersome process. So you cannot do it overnight. Government is doing everything that is humanly possible to see that all these damaged houses are rebuilt within the very shortest possible time. Because Kukawa, they have gone back just about 2 weeks ago. The government has now proposed and budgeted for the renovation of all these houses that we have done in many localities in the state, especially the one in...
Time, Mr. Maimale, because of time, yes, of course, we know it's a process and government is doing its best. But from your interaction with the residents of Kukawa, are they excited to be back home at the moment? And then is there some order to this process, you know, such that other people who are yet to return may want to return?
Hello?
Mr. Maimale, if you can hear me, from your interaction with the residents of Kukawa, are they excited to be home now? What's the feedback from, you know, the returnees? And then is there an order in this whole process of returning home, just so that those who are yet to return will be confident to get back to their homes?
Yes, it was a voluntary return. The people were so excited that they went back after 14 years of displacement. They are now in their houses, going about their normal businesses, going their fishing activities, their farming activities. The business is on. They are very excited. They are very happy. They are very happy. If you have gone through the electronics media or the print medias, you might have seen how the people have shown their concern for the return of their relatives to their local communities. They have been pressing the governor every day, every night, that the governor has taken the bull by the horn to return them back to their localities. They are happy. They're happy.
So, thank you so much, Mr. Sugun Maimale, Commissioner for Local Government and Emirate Affairs, Borno State. Of course, we wish the government of Borno all the best, and the people of Kukawa all the best that there is. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, the Nigerian Navy has bid a solemn farewell to Lieutenant Commander Gideon Yashim Gwaza, a hero who made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty, rescuing 59 distressed persons at Okwobo River, River State. The Friends correspondent, Najatu Tijane, reports on the solemn ceremony.
A solemn farewell to a hero who made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. Lieutenant Commander Gideon Gwaza, fondly called number 1 by his coursemates and those he led because of his dedication to duty. He was laid to rest with full military honors, surrounded by his family, colleagues, and a grateful nation.
The job that we do is not only to serve ourselves, but to serve humanity. So I want to assure the family members, particularly the spouse, that you have a partner in the Nigerian Navy.
The life of Lieutenant Commander Gideon is a summary of a true life.
His dedication and sacrifice will forever be remembered. His legacy will live on forever. Adieu, late Lieutenant Commander Gideon Yashim Gwaza. Adieu, number 1.
While responding to a distress call from a sinking dredging vehicle with 59 crew members on board, his bravery inspired his team to rescue all crew members, but tragically he died. The Navy has pledged to support his family, comprising his wife and 3 sons, by providing accommodation and education assistance until university. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
One loses his life to save others. Meanwhile, some others are busy taking lives unlawfully. What an irony of life. 94 members of the proscribed Islamic movement of Nigeria, popularly known as Shiite, have been arrested for their involvement in the attack on the police on Sunday in the FCT, leading to the death of 2 officers. Commissioner of Police Benneth Igwe paraded the suspects alongside the killer of the son of a former Chief of Naval Staff. Onotu Yakubu reports.
The 94 suspects, including a 10-year-old, were part of the 97 mopped up in a response operation following the attack on Sunday. Commissioner of Police Bennett Igwe says those exonerated of involvement in the crime after screening have been released, while operation is ongoing on directive of the IGP to hunt down accomplices on the run.
Which they use in killing the policemen. They shotgun at the policemen, they use petrol bomb, they use cutlasses. If you see their dead body and how they were massacred, you will be shocked. So you have to follow them up. These are the cutlasses. Some of them are blood-stained. We recovered it.
The CP also reveals the decoy with which the group usually blackmails Nigerian security and the government to their foreign sponsors and international community.
You can see blood stained. They will cover it and send it to their sponsors overseas and tell them that Nigeria police government have killed one of them. They will dress it, this is the head. They will dress it up and it will look like a human being so that they will send them money.
Also paraded a naval officer who allegedly killed the son of a former chief of the naval staff to steal his Toyota Prado SUV, and a syndicate of twin brothers specialized in swapping unsuspecting bank customers of their ATM cards at ATM galleries.
I don't have anything related to the family. I don't have anything. I just want to carry the car and sell.
So was killing him part of your plan?
No, sir. Actually, the killing is not part of my plan. But he has already known me. That is all.
The suspects are to be charged to court upon completion of investigation. In Abuja, Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, is in the J Republic, meeting with the country's military head of state. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that details of the agenda of the meeting has not been made public. General Christopher Musa is also the chairman ECOWAS Committee of Chief of Defense Staff, vested with the mandate of ensuring regional peace and security. Now, the federal government of Nigeria and Egypt have signed a memorandum of understanding to deepen defense industry cooperation. The signing of the MOU at the Ministry of Defense Ship House, Abuja, is aimed at promoting bilateral and defense cooperation in accordance with the prevailing laws and regulations of the 2 countries. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Defense, Dr. Ibrahim Abubakar Kana, who signed for Nigeria, expressed optimism that a long history of robust relationship between Nigeria and Egypt would create lasting cooperation between both countries, stressing that Nigeria benefited from Egypt in areas of intelligence sharing and training. The good book says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Well, the federal government is taking a holistic approach in this direction and is supporting the children of those who serve and protect the nation. This initiative is part of the broader renewed hope policing agenda of the Tinubu administration, which aims at improving the welfare of police officers and their families by investing in the education and development of children of police personnel. Francis Pham will tell us more.
By mixing.
This is the first time summer lessons are being organized by the Ministry of Police Affairs for children of police officers and men in the Police Model Secondary School, Abuja. The summer lessons go beyond traditional academics, as other aspects include special workshops on leadership, entrepreneurship, and digital literacy, with the intention of broadening the children's horizons and encouraging them to think creatively about their future.
Right now we're at the point where we want to kind of, increase their imagination so that they can be very creative, so that they can think big towards the future and they can have that can-do attitude. That is where we are right now.
We've impacted over 1,500 children. We have pleaded with them to go and impact another 1,500 so that the knowledge will keep going on.
What we want to do is run STEAM as an all year round program, stimulating the genius of our children. In the FCT, Renewed Hope Agenda for Women, for Children, for Adolescent Girls.
The summer lessons, which spans several weeks, cover a wide range of subjects, including science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, alongside arts, culture, and personal development. The program is expected to be replicated in various police barracks across the country, ensuring that children from all regions benefit from this development opportunity. In another development, the Nigeria Police Force National Cybercrime Center has arrested a suspect for his alleged involvement in a complex case of computer-related fraud, impersonation, and identity theft. The suspect was alleged to have created a Facebook account in the name of AIG Aisha Tobaju and other senior police officers, using these Facebook accounts to defraud unsuspecting victims.
By firstly offering assistance with postings, transfers, and foreign mission opportunities in exchange for financial compensation.
The suspect has, however, acknowledged and confessed that a significant number of inmates in the Nigeria Correctional Service have illegally smuggled mobile phones into the prison facilities. These mobile phones have been utilized to perpetrate fraudulent activities. Francis Pham, NTA News.
And away from security issues now, a Zimbabwean Bishop Eben Nahiwatawi has been repatriated from Nigeria for allegedly violating immigration laws. In a statement, Public Relations Officer of the Nigeria Immigration Service, Kenneth Udo, says the clergy arrived in the country on a tourist visa, but was found to be participating in Methodist Church leadership election process in violation of the terms and privileges associated with the tourist visa as provided in the Nigeria Visa Policy 2024. The statement adds that while the Nigeria Immigration Service encourages lawful inflow of foreign direct investment and individuals engaging in business and social activities, it will not tolerate violation of the country's immigration laws. In an exciting and uplifting event, the first Nigerian female elected Lord Mayor of Leeds in the United Kingdom shared her inspiring story of humble beginnings at the Mariam Babangida Center for Women Development in Abuja. This remarkable woman's journey is a testament to the power of determination and hard work, serving as a beacon of hope for inspiring female politicians, women in government, and those in leadership positions. The event also highlighted the establishment of a new resource center aimed at empowering and equipping women to achieve their dreams and make positive impact. Momso Damian Dati has this.
Mariam Babangida National Center for Women Development comes alive with commissioners of women from the 36 states, female members of the National Assembly, civil society groups, and international partners.
Go back to do exploits.
Nigeria's Abigail Marshall Katung, elected Lord Mayor of Leeds in the UK, has traveled all the way, just as the arrival of the Minister of Women's Affairs heralds the commencement of business.
My journey started 26 years ago
at the National Center for Women Development, where I graduated from the Ahmadu Bello University, and I had always admired Mariam Babangida, fighting for the cause of women and, most importantly, rural women. And I was given an internship. I remember my salary was 1,000 naira a month. I went to Leeds in 2000, and like they say today, the rest is history.
Let us help ourselves, empowering ourselves, so that life will become easier for us. Let us focus and change our lives.
With the support of the Canadian government and the UN Women, resource centers are to be established nationwide.
We are establishing another 4 centers so that every zone will have a center. So that is why we are strategizing to see how we can train women, how we can prepare them for the political space.
UN Women will continue to invest in enhancing personal resilience and professional development of women to increase their contribution in leadership.
Canada is a proud supporter of the Advance Project. The Advance Project has made remarkable strides, successfully increasing the number of women candidates and women voters in the last election.
These state commissioners for women are expected to return to their home states and replicate the gesture. Momso Damien Lati, NTA News.
Let's talk health now. The Lagos State government has enhanced its surveillance and emergency preparedness to counter potential threats posed by the aggressive Mpox Clade 1B variant, currently causing an unprecedented surge of cases across Africa. Lagos State Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, disclosed this at a media briefing in Lagos. Ese Nwamaka reports.
Due to the dense population of Lagos State, accompanied with its multiple airline and shipping routes, the Lagos State government is concerned about a potential threat of the importation of Mpox from neighboring countries into the state. Amid these rising concerns about the spread of this highly contagious disease, the Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, says the Lagos State government is taking proactive steps drawing from its experience with past health crises like Ebola and COVID-19 to prevent the introduction of the Clade 1B variant into the state.
In West Africa, we have Mpox 2 and 2A. So what we are talking about today is the potential of importing Mpox 1B from where it is circulating in large numbers in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We have kicked off our campaign. We're going to activate our Emergency Operations Center to focus specifically on Mpox Clade 1B, the strain circulating in Central Africa.
He further noted that while there are currently no active Mpox cases in Lagos, the state must remain vigilant against the potential importation of this aggressive variant.
We're telling you that there's a risk. We're telling you how to recognize Mpox if you should see one or if you should develop the symptoms yourself, and that you should notify us in the Ministry of Health through your doctors, through your primary healthcare facilities.
Meanwhile, the Lagos State government is also exploring vaccine options and has established local research teams to guide government policy on Mpox. In Lagos, Ese Owamaka, NTA News.
Time for another break. Thank you for staying with us. Professional accountants must strive at all times to faithfully adhere to the noble ideals of the profession, which are defined by integrity, transparency, and accountability. This was the charge made by the President, Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN, Dr. James Neminebo, during the induction of 797 new members into their fold. Shehu Muhammad Dati, who was at Ahmadu Bello Hall, State Secretariat, Dutse, in Jigawa State, filed this report.
That was the oath of allegiance by new members being administered to them by Chairman of Council of ANAN. In his address, the President Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN, encouraged the new members to add value to the association and uphold the tenets of their calling.
All we need them is to contribute positively to their office, to build a good economy for the state and, of course, for the country. My message for them is to uphold their professionalism very high. But Annan came on board and said, no, you must be a graduate of accounting or management sciences. And if you're a graduate, you now go to the Nigerian College of Accountancy. So we gifted the accountancy profession the College of Accountancy.
Certificates of membership were presented to the 797 new members of ANAN as professional accountants. Some of the new inducted members said the series of training and examination they undertook was designed to equip them with the confidence and a competitive edge to strive in their profession.
I feel so happy. This is a milestone, and this is another achievement in a lifetime, where to be a member of a professional body, and I'm so excited.
I feel awesome. I'm so excited because this journey has not been easy, but I am very grateful that I have the opportunity to be among the inductees.
ANAN is one of the two statutory profession of accountants in Nigeria, with over 56,000 members with branches in all the 36 states and Federal Capital Territory. In Dutse, Show Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
Away from Jigawa State now, I got the businessman right here with me in the studio. Benny, what's the latest?
Thank you. And now talking business, with prices of fertilizers going for up to 50,000 naira in the open market and adulterated ones from markets to farmlands, stakeholders say there is the need to review the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative to reflect current realities for the attainment of food security.
And there is a need to now relook at the whole thing and reshape it to achieve the objectives of today, without forgetting the fact that the Nigerian farmer must be given quality and affordable fertilizer at the right time that he needs. So we're working with the partners again to look at how do we roll out a program and an initiative supported by government to be able to achieve these objectives by 2025.
Now, 14 African countries and many partners have pledged more than $45 million to the World Health Organization's investment round. The 3-month-old initiative aims to generate sustainable financing for the organization at the center of the global health architecture. The commitments were made during the WHO Regional Committee for Africa with heads of state and government from across the continent, underscoring the importance of investing in global health and ensuring a strong WHO. The countries included Botswana, Cape Verde, Chad, Congo, Ethiopia, Gambia, and Mauritius. Others are Namibia, Niger, Rwanda, Senegal, Seychelles, South Africa, and the United Republic of Tanzania. And on the market, investors lost 176.05 billion naira as the all-share index declined by 0.32%. A total of 446.6 million shares in 10,148 deals corresponding to a market value of 4.531 were traded. Today's data shows 20% decline in turnover, but 19% improvement in deals. The current market capitalization is 55.3 trillion naira. On the aggregate, 121 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 35 gainers and 14 losers. Universal Insurance Company recorded the highest volume of 52.6 million traded shares, followed by Jopo Gold Ventures, 51.8 million, and Prestige Assurance Company. That is it on business. Nyeri, you can take it away from here.
Many thanks, Benny, for the update. Well, let me quickly also inform you that the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has expressed his administration's readiness to enhance the nation's economy, leveraging the Idu Industrial Park. The minister made this known during the inspection tour of the park in Abuja. Onoze Yakubu brings us details.
The Idu Industrial Park is one of the commercial nerve centers in the nation's capital. The park is regarded as a free trade zone, housing different companies that produce a plethora of products, including iron rods, pipes, and other building materials. After being taken around different sections of the park, the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike describes the project as mind-boggling that will increase the economic fortunes of the country.
This is not what we are doing in the economy. So creating employment for the youth, Here you see there are so many companies who have opportunity. But what I said is educate not about 40,000 direct employment. And that is huge. That is huge. There's no government that will support this kind of investment.
The minister adds that the road infrastructure linking the park is being expanded, while security is also provided. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
We head to the Big Hat now, and in particular, Agbo. A small start has blossomed in a thriving model of self-sufficiency and empowerment. It is a story of 75-year-old Gode Ehiwario, the Oriri one of Agbo Kingdom, who turned 3 plots of land into a vast farming enterprise. With 7 wives and 25 children, his family's success is a testament to his visionary leadership. From humble beginnings to a large-scale farming operation, this patriarch's story is one of inspiration and impact. Susan Esu takes us deeper into this remarkable tale of agricultural achievement and family empowerment.
Popular perception by some Nigerians that the Niger Delta region can only be viable for crude oil production may just be a mere assumption, as our findings on about 15,000 arable plots of land will rewrite that narrative.
70, I start to do my own. I continue small, but I can't get 3 advisors, old men. Then come tell me, say, one of the plant here, I limit yam, my plant a pan.
Today, Pa Gode Ehiwario of Agbo community in Delta State is not just a respected traditional ruler, but a successful farmer who has acquired about 15,000 plots of land with proceeds from his farm, planting and selling cash crops, which has earned him another title as one of the greatest farmers of our time. He records tremendous bumper harvests every year. Using the soil as a testament for uplifting souls and promoting agriculture, Pa Ehiwario is also an employer of labor.
Baba, you buy food for me every day. Now so we do plenty. We do work for her. We try. You know, they easy. Now here at the chop, I give my family.
Every year, I normally benefit 40 tubers of yam, which she normally dashed me free of charge.
Though with manual labor and crude implement, this septuagenarian, with the assistance of his 7 wives, still push to domesticate the federal government's call to produce what we eat and eat what we produce. But that is not without a call for intervention from government for modern equipment.
At least every year I buy 50 bags of fertilizer for my farm. And then try to help me. As I try reach now, they praise myself for. So say federal government help me or state government help me, I will do more.
As we say goodbye to this Green Revolution campaign field, the picture in our minds and thought is that of a future where many Nigerians will accept to return to agriculture, just like Pa Gode Ehiwario, the Oriri one of Agbo Kingdom.
Yes, we need more farmers like Pa Gode Ehiwario, but of course, not with 7 wives. Let's take a break. Stay with us. Good to have you back. Gombe State Government has enrolled Sangaya schools on equity healthcare program targeting the poor and vulnerable in the state. Nafisa Umar Garba completes the report.
With success in reducing the number of out-of-school children in Gombe State through the enrollment of Almajiri children in the Better Education Service Delivery for All, BERSDA, the state government goes ahead to build and equip the Almajiri schools across the state with skills acquisition centers. To further improve the lots of the Almajiri children, the state government is enrolling them to benefit from the equity program of the State Contributory Health Care Scheme.
The Almajiris who will sometimes use their services in the house are not healthy. We can still contact it. At any rate, even if it's not Almajiris, if all of us are not well, then you are still not well.
During outbreak, we have noticed that most outbreak emanates from there. The meningitis outbreak, the cholera outbreak, the gastroenteritis, measles, all the outbreaks, the epicenters emanate from those Angaya schools, so they need that care.
We put them back in school. Already there's a health care provision for them, because when they are healthy, they will go to school.
We have the benefit package for the equity program, and that is a very robust package that takes care of more than 85% of the common elements that bedevil our people.
With these feats, Gombe State is marching closer to achieving the universal health coverage of the Sustainable Development Goals. Nafisa Umar Garba, NTA News.
Away from Gombe now, the gatekeeper of the U.S. Africa Chambers of Commerce has reflected the interest of diasporas from the last 400 years. 55 million of them are to anchor back to the motherland to be part of sustainable development of the country. Seeking support from the chairman, NITCOM, Abike Dabiri Erewa, leader of the group, Sam Joe Madu, says 1,000 youths will be trained in various fields such as agriculture and ICT. He notes that leveraging NITCOM, the intentions and move for development by ambassadors will be felt. Abike Dabiri Erewa describes NITCOM as the customer service to the diaspora and will continue to offer support and engage every diaspora investor. So far, 600 youths have been trained.
Investments will be made.
It is now time for Africa to open every door and let Mother Africa's children come home. Oh God, it is time for us, and especially women. We are going to usher our children back.
The only way to do that is to sit down and have conversations like these here, and to be able to expand, to be able to bring more people to follow what Sir Joe has brought to light to me.
As Africans, as blacks all over the world, as long as you're a black person, you are an African.
Yes.
So come home to the motherland. Let's develop the continent together. If the Indians, Chinese are investing in Africa, why not our brothers and sisters that are doing very well? And this is home.
The revalidation of financial autonomy to a local government must be followed up with structural rearrangements that ensure that a third tier achieve its constitutional mandate. This, according to experts who say putting mechanism in place to act as checks and balances is imperative in monitoring financial misappropriation. Michael Olaleye reports.
With the long-awaited victory in autonomy of local government administration finally secured, it is time to transform all the lofty dreams of economic development at the grassroots into reality. For those that have anxiously looked forward to a day the local government will receive its financial freedom to exist as a third tier of government, the understanding is deep, not only because it is the closest to the people, but this new experience will bring back memories of projects and wealth creation that once existed at the local areas.
If there's transparency, if there's accountability, if there's full disclosure with the way, with respect to the ways and means with which allocations are disbursed and applicants are appropriated, and if there's open book management, we can begin to see a new tide in Nigeria that will make sure that development is grounded at the grassroots.
Beyond drawing imaginary pictures of growth emphasized are more compelling issues revolving around governance and administration at the local councils.
We must be able to improve on the quality of the people that emerge as leaders. Otherwise, you get the wrong leader and then you decide to move these billions of naira to that wrong leader. What do you think is going to happen?
Experts say for local government areas to exist, their constitutional mandates must be done on the basis of structural rearrangement with necessary checks and balance in place.
Each local government should have a mechanism for awarding contract for purchases. There must be a proper procurement mechanism in place. So by doing this, so local government cannot just abuse that fund. And I want to suggest that EFCC and for Bureau of Public Procurement should have offices in all the local governments so they can guide them.
The consensus going forward is that since local government is pivotal to economic rejuvenation in Nigeria, then it is the responsibility of the citizenry to ensure that the financial autonomy works in tandem with constitutional demand. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
The Social Democratic Party, SDP, has expressed displeasure over an alleged attack on its Kogi State governorship candidate, Murtala Ajaka, during the Supreme Court judgment that affirmed the election of Usman Ododo as the governor of the state. Kenneth Nanim reports that the party held a media briefing in Abuja to present its position on the Apex Court's verdict.
The recent judgment by the Supreme Court that affirmed the election of the governors of Kogi, Bayelsa and Imo states is one that has been trailed by many reactions. Naturally, not all the parties involved are smiling. The Social Democratic Party SDP, whose candidate Murtala Ajaka at the Kogi State governorship election lost at the Supreme Court, believes it did enough to get a more favorable outcome from the Apex Court. The party is also seeking redress over the alleged attack on its candidate by hoodlums within the Supreme Court premises.
So we are calling for the CJM, we are appealing to her to commence immediate investigation over what happened and ensure that those found responsible, their footages have been captured, are brought to book so that to restore the image and the dignity, not just the Supreme Court, but the entire course of Nigeria.
Having pledged support to the federal government, the party's leadership urges the current administration to take decisive action to ensure unpatriotic citizens do not mar its good intentions.
We will not be part of pulling down the roof of this government, but we will add value to the stability of this government, to the credibility of this government.
I'm still investigating what led to that attack on my person at the Supreme Court. We are waiting, we've written them officially.
The SDP says it will continue to play its part in constructively critiquing the governance in the country while proffering solutions to the socio-economic challenges confronting Nigeria. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
All right, now time to talk sports. We've got Badi Adeleye here. Badi.
All right, let's begin with the Paralympics, as right away in Paris has been a spectacular opening ceremony of Bruno Labbadia as the new coach of the Super Eagles. Known or unknown, the German has already swung into action, releasing its list of players for upcoming matches against Benin Republic and Rwanda. Labbadia has an immediate challenge of getting Nigeria's bid to be at the next Africa Cup of Nations and the World Cup. And the big question is, can he deliver?
NFF do not have the financial muscle to get their dream coach. Maybe they've gone again for who can understand the system of how football is run in Nigeria.
I have absolute confidence in his abilities to manage. However, where I worry is that he's got next to no experience managing national teams. That's going to be a new journey for him.
All right, that's our beat on sports for now. Let's return to Yare.
Many thanks, Badi. Only time will tell if Bruno Labbadia can deliver. Now, the death of a mother, even when it comes at full age, often leaves one with sharp pain and a deep sense of loss, a reflection of the special bond that naturally exists between mothers and their children. This was a discussion when a delegation of Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, went to condole with the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, over the death of his mother-in-law, Hajia Umu Iya Abubakar. The delegation, led by a wife of the Speaker, House of Representatives, Hajia Fatima Tajuddin Abbas, joined other mourners to comfort the daughter of the deceased. Delivering the message of the First Lady, she said the deceased played her part very well, guiding her children in the right path.
May God forgive her. May God give her Jannat al-Firdaus, and also may God give them the fortitude to bear the loss.
The Chief Mourner and National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, appreciated the First Lady for her emotional support during the grieving moment of the family. Late Hajia Umu Iya Abubakar died on Tuesday at the age of 76. The Okoro Obaraye family announced the passing of their son, Emmanuel Osaye Okoro Obaraye, JP, the Ojonwe of Ugogo Street, Benin City. Burial arrangements are as follows. Wednesday, 28th, body leaves St. Philomena to his residence, 16 Ogogo Street off Donson Road, Benin City. Thursday, 29th of August, 2024, interment at his residence. Saturday, 31st, funeral service at the military base, Airport Road, Benin City. That concludes News Extra tonight. Many thanks for your company. Let's do it again next week. Have a good night.